Troublemaker. You're goddamn right I am. Fuck the 1%. What's up, AMC Army? Here, let me get this pinned up on my Twitter sphere. Share to Twitter. Tweet it up. 6:30 in the morning. Probably my earliest video ever. I don't do these long videos very often, but there's a lot to talk about today. And I told you all yesterday that I would do my take on this latest news of Aron filing the S3 filing to the SEC about the corporate bonds. Pretty interesting shit. So, first thing I want to talk about is the time that we've spent in this channel between $50 and $60 and people getting impatient. Kids don't smoke. Some of this that have been around since the beginning, and I haven't been around since the beginning. I mean, the real OG apes were knocked down from $12 down to like $5. And then there was the battle for 801, which put a bunch of options in the money. I wasn't around for all that, but I got in just above $10, bought a bunch of 12, got knocked down to like the high 8s, the low 9s. I mean, my position that I kept adding to, like you're supposed to, every time it dropped, was 30 to 40% in the red for months, guys. In the red. And I imagine that most of you, even the ones that have gotten in more recently, have to be at least flat or a slight increase. And I'm sorry if you're bored, but no one said, hey, we're going to make you a millionaire overnight. Right? This is a hard-fought battle emotionally. That's really about the only clip they have left in the chamber, is to emotionally distress us and shake us off our position. Citadel has actually spent money to come up with a logarithm that searches social media and tries to find weakness and play off that weakness and get us to come off our positions. I mean, that's true. Ken Griffin talked about it live on one of the Squawk Box shows, or one of those bullshit shows that tells you to buy such and such stock before they all dump it, so you're left holding the fucking bag. It's true. You can search my timeline. Joe Albert has a screenshot from 2 days before Archegos hedge fund got liquidated, and they had to sell their shares in Viacom and Discovery, blue chip stocks like Apple and AT&T and such that, never take more than a 2% swing one way or the other. Took 40 to 45% tanks in one day at the end of a Friday. By the way, if you see that happen soon, that means this is, someone else is getting liquidated. All these hedge funds have, blue chip stocks too, and they might have to liquidate some of these stocks to cover their positions. So if you see a blue chip stock take a big dive like that for no reason, there's no news, go buy that shit up. That's part of this play. I mean, there's lots of ways to make money off this play, but one of the things that I've been, preaching for a long time is that there are going to be blue chip stocks at a huge discount. And those stocks, by the way, rebounded in like 2 days. So you could literally 30, 40, 50% your money in 2 days when this happens. Not if this happens, but when this happens. But anyway, 2 days before those stocks tanked, Joe's got the screenshot, and it was talking about short plays and squeeze plays. And for some reason, you had the AMC, GME, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond up there. But there was Viacom and Discovery there, which were already showing a little red, by the way. Those weren't short squeeze plays. Nobody goes short on those kind of stocks. They probably did because they knew it was going to get liquidated, and they wanted you to buy the stock to up their ante. So they left retail holding the bag once again. We've got evidence of this, of the mainstream media trying to steer you in one direction so you can help them out and you get left holding the bag. So why do you think they keep saying don't buy AMC? Don't buy it. It's one of the worst plays on the market. Really? It's up hundreds of percent over the last few months, thousands of percent over the last year. I mean, Jesus Christ. How many times do you have to see that this motley fool that's funded by Citadel, by the way, and Bloomberg and Yahoo Finance and all those guys are in bed with the people that we're fighting, and they keep saying that we're a bad play? But and you know that these streams are usually stream of consciousness. I will say that I'm here because in early March I got away from fantasy football and started getting into the stock market because I saw a tweet about AMC being a GME type play, and made a comment, and Joe Albert immediately DM'd me and said, "Hey, if you want to find out more, I've done tons of research." And I fell in love with the data and the chance of this being a great play. And also, I love the movies. I like the stock. I didn't want to see the movies go under. So I kept adding to my position, and I have a modest chunk of AMC. I've got a lot on the line here, as I'm sure some of you guys do too. But my point is that the shell game that they're playing and the misdirection that they're trying to give us should be very transparent by now. We spent like 75 days in the $10 to $20 channel, mostly down 10 to 12. Do you know how many days we spent from $20 to $50? 7 days. And now we've spent like 14 days in the $50 channel. So I'm sorry that you're bored, but we made a big jump there. And now we're just kind of, winding up, tightening up that spring and getting comfortable in this area so we could shoot up. And that's why, when we have tried to get past 60 a few times, we've been knocked down. The stock just isn't ready yet. I mean, it was $12 just several weeks ago, a few weeks ago, and now we're at $56. So you got to give the stock some time to get acclimated. But when we make this next run up, we're gonna gap another big chunk. There's going to be another situation where we've only spent a few days in a huge $30, $40 spread, and then we're going to do this all over again. And I hope you don't get bored when we're barcoding at $85. Jesus Christ. Guys, you got to have some patience. This could definitely happen in the next couple of weeks, but it could take a couple months. Now, people say, well, the smoking gun was this filing, this filing. Oh, everything was supposed to change when they came out with this. No. We had to wait until they got them all on the table. They've made all these filings, and if you read through the documents, they're all about a catastrophic event, what to do in the event of a liquidation, limiting their exposure. So the DTCC and the OTC, these insurers of the short positions that could be left holding the bag, if companies get liquidated and they don't have enough money to cover their positions, they've increased these companies' supplementary deposits. So there's more money to cover. They've come out with rules about how to auction off assets and who's going to be invited to the table at this auction. And the institutions that are on our side, BlackRock and Vanguard, are invited to the table. So they're pretty happy about that. We always talk about I say fuck the 1%. And we talk about the hedge funds, but there are institutional investors on our side, like BlackRock and Vanguard. Always has been. Big money for a lot of retirement funds too. There's a big teachers union out in Arizona that took a huge chunk of AMC to put into their retirement fund because they believed in it too. So this isn't just retail. Yes, we own 80%, but there's a good amount of institutions that are in on this too. But my point is, we got to this level and people are getting discouraged. And Jesus, man, I mean, the stock has gone up 400% in the last 3 months or something like that. So, you shouldn't be bored. This is going to take a lot of conviction. This is going to take a lot of patience. But I really think that we're close to the target. And my video about the threshold the other day, holy crap, it got like 33,000 views, and there's now like 2,000 more apes following me. I've never cared about follower count, but it was kind of a trip to get like 2,000 new followers in 36 hours. Wow. I love all you guys. And I hope you all make a bunch of money on this. And I hope to all see you sometime, in Vegas or wherever we decide to meet up. I know that there's a big Vegas Ape Con scheduled for 2023. Think about that. They scheduled it for 2023. This could easily spill over into 2022, guys. It really could. I'm trying to prepare yourself for that, but I'm fine waiting for that kind of life-changing money. Can you wait another 6 months for life-changing money? Yeah, you can. And trust me, the longer you do this, the more numb you'll become to it. Every once in a while, I flip out too. I'll be honest. It's tough to see the red days. It's tough to see them knock us down. But then it's just so satisfying when you see how much money they spend to knock us down 2 or 3%. Their tactics have less of an impact now as they used to. So what's up with this threshold? The threshold filing by the New York Stock Exchange is for stocks that have unsettled shares to the tune of 10,000 shares or 0.5% of the total float for 5 days in a row. And then you get put on this list. And then the big debate is, does the 5 days count or do you start the day of the filing? Because they have 13 days, it says, to cover these unsettled failure to deliver shares. And this is why I jumped on this DD from Main Street Capital. Shout out to Main Street Capital. I just stumbled across it the other day and I was like, whoa, this is big. Because I had a video the week before last about, we've got all these FTDs coming up and the T plus 35 settlement system means that they have 35 days to settle these FTDs. And that's next week. There were 3 days last week that were all supposed to be expiration dates for these FTDs. And the stock price didn't go up last week. You all saw it. It was just kind of barcoding. So something was up, They kicked the can down the hill as long as they possibly can. So yes, they had 35 days, but they knew they had more than that. Because if you go past that expiration, then you have 5 more days before you get put on this list, this threshold list. And now the clock is ticking. So since there is a division between whether the 5 days counts or not, I'm just going to assume that the day they filed it is day 1. Let's assume the worst. So that's Friday. They were also on the list Monday. They were also on the list Tuesday and Wednesday. So day 4, maybe day 9, but let's just say day 4. So they have 9 days to cover this. So how much do they have to cover? Well, 0.5%. The float is 510 million ish. So it's 2.5 million shares or more in the aggregate. And there is misinformation about that because people are adding 2.5 million every day. So they're saying, okay, well now it's day 8. So it's 20 million shares. No, it's at least 2.5 million. We know it's not 2.5 million every single day. It's a cumulative effect. Now, Because of the T35 data that and great DD that was done on Reddit, and I still have it up in my fleet, I think it's 17 million shares, approximately $34 million worth. So maybe like 15 and a half, 16 million shares. That's what I think it is based on my maths on the T plus 35. I could be wrong. But the point is they can't find these shares. They can't find them. They're not out there. I mean, this is a very hard to borrow stock, and the float is owned and we're not selling. So the noose is tightening. Very, very interesting shit. But what came out yesterday really kind of blew my mind, and I think might be the best DD that we've seen to date. And AMC Bigums, even though that there were other people that did research on this and uncovered this, I believe that AMC Bigums did the best DD on it. 8 pages he posted on Reddit. You can look on his Twitter and find the link about what this means. And a poor guy, he was up like 30 hours straight. So I contacted him about this time yesterday morning out of the blue. You know, he doesn't know me from Adam. And just DM'd him. And one of the reasons why I did it is because his Twitter account was only, made this month. And I was like, who is this guy? You got to be wary of new people to the space giving you information. But I did some more research and found out he's been around on Twitter doing great DD for like 6 months. So the dude's legit. And Jackson Hunter did talk about his DD last night on his YouTube channel. Jackson Hunter is huge. I think he gets about 30,000 views on all of his videos because it's really, really good stuff. And I'm not going to go over like the all 9 pages. I'm just going to go over kind of my, interpretation of it. So when a company wants to get some money, they can either, issue shares or they can issue bonds to make money, and they have to pay interest on these bonds. So in 2018, in December, they did a 34 million share bond offering to raise money. And some of the corporations that are against us now bought these bonds up and said, okay, yeah, we'll buy your bonds. Here's some money. They're convertible bonds that can be converted into shares anytime between now and 2024. Okay. Now, usually when a company that wants to short a stock, what they have to do is they have to go to a market maker and they have to, say, hey, we want to short 100,000 shares of AMC. And the market maker has to have those shares that they can buy back later. That's what you're doing when you're shorting a stock. You're shorting it at a certain price, but you're buying it back later and you're hoping to buy it back lower to make that difference. Not higher, which there's people that are in this at $10, shorting the stock at $8, $10, $6, $12. They're obviously deep in the hole right now. They have to buy those shares back at a higher price, and they're going to have to do it eventually, guys. And sometimes the market makers don't have the shares, and they kind of say, yeah, we got some, or we can find some. And they let them go short anyway. Those are the naked shorts. So as much as we hate these hedge funds and always talk about that, no one ever talks about, and I tweeted a few days ago, the real evil here is the market makers. They're the ones that create the short positions. These are, companies like Robinhood and TD Ameritrade, Webull. I mean, as much hate as there is towards Robinhood, they're all fucking shady guys. Robinhood is just the one that turned off the buy button. So that's what they usually have to do when they want to start a short position. But when they have these bonds that can be converted into stock later, that's considered stock too. And they just say, hey, we're shorting this. We're shorting this stock using these bonds. So they don't have to, meet a market maker. And that creates a long position and basically a double short. So let me explain that. So if you're buying a bond at, say, $30 a share, well, you want the price to go up. You're going long. And this is a hedge. This is what these hedge funds do. They hedge their positions. Now, their position is predominantly short. I mean, but they do have 700,000 common stock shares. And when they buy these bonds, they are going long on the stock. So really what they want to do when they buy these bonds, they're getting the interest payment and they're allowed to use those bonds to short the stock. What they really want to do is keep the stock at a certain price at that point. Sound familiar? They want to, if they buy at 55, they want to just keep it at 55 because even though that's a long position, their overall position is short. So they don't want the stock price to go up. Even though that's going to make a little bit of money, that's going to hurt their short position a lot. But if it just kind of stays in a certain channel, then they're just collecting interest. And that's what it's doing right now. And that's what they're doing right now. So Aron drops a bombshell yesterday and files an S3 filing with the SEC saying, yeah, I want all these corporate bonds back. Basically, they're paying off that debt, which in Trey Trade's video, or Trey Trade's interview with Aron a few months ago, that's one of the things he said he was going to do with the money that they raised by the at the market offering and selling shares, that he was going to buy, that he was going to, pay off some debt. So this is great from just that aspect of it, because more and more and longer we go, AMC establishes it fundamentally as a company that's not going to go bankrupt. That's what a shorter wants to do. They want the company to go bankrupt eventually. But paying off debt is good for a company. I don't have to explain that to you anymore. But also it takes away these hedge funds, the short positions, ammunition that they've been using to just kind of endlessly short us. And we don't know what's going on. We're like, man, the Ortex data, shows 100 million short positions and almost 20% short interest, but that doesn't add up. It's got to be way more than that, right? Okay, well, naked shorts. Everybody starts finding out about naked shorts. Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. That's why it's more. God, it still seems like it should be more than that, though. Oh, wow. These corporate fucking convertible bonds can be converted into common stock shares and used to short? Really? Doesn't it just all sound shady? Naked shorts, dark pools, convertible bonds, junk bonds. This is a fucking Ponzi scheme. These articles that are coming out that we're manipulating, it's laughable. We're manipulating a fucking Ponzi scheme that we've finally figured out the game that y'all are playing, and we're playing it better than you because they have all this ammunition. And the only real ammunition that we have is faith in each other, faith in the company, conviction in the play, and buy and hold. Hold. God, they can't beat hold. They can't beat hold. We've won. Pay me now, pay me later is what I've been saying, which I guess is an old Fram oil filter commercial. The guy with the oil filter says, pay me now. And then the mechanic says, or pay me later. Brilliant. I guess that's where that came from. The BAM investor kind of got me started saying that. But it's all over but the shouting, guys. We just have to wait this out. I think now that all these rules are in place, that's going to tighten the noose. This threshold list that the SEC has put out, that gets updated every night around 8 o'clock, by the way. I've been trying to post it every day, and somebody beat me to it last night and tagged me, so I just retweeted it. It's fine. Anybody that wants to help me out with this kind of stuff and research is fine. I'm really not the DD guy. I'm the guy that finds the DD and brings it out, into the open. And real quick, while I'm thinking about that, I'm really not the person that you should be looking to for expert financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and neither are some of these other guys. But they're much better than me. I mean, Trey Trades and Joshua James and Kong Posting and Dr. Trillions and Jeffrey Forbes. And obviously Matt Kors, Wrench Capital. God, I love Wrench. It's like listening to stock advice from Darth Vader. It's just got that deep, calming voice. And we've been, consolidating now for 13 days. He must be consolidating all over his screen. He loves this consolidation. Oh man, sorry. It's prior to 7:00 in the morning. I'm having some fun. But Adam Aron took that, that tool away from them, that ammunition away from them, which is great. I think they've just been able to loosely run wild with these corporate bonds and short. They don't have to find market makers. Nobody knows what's going on. I'm sure nobody's tracking how many shares they have and how many they've shorted. If they're not meeting the market maker, then there's no stamp on these to track them. That's the problem with the stock market right now. These transactions aren't really stamped. Eventually, I think we need to get to the point where we use blockchain technology to track every single share and what's being done with it. That's the one thing I love about crypto. Whether crypto lives or dies or goes up or goes down, the blockchain technology is already being used by shipping yards and by medical transporters for vaccines and all kinds of stuff. We can use blockchain technology to fix all of this. And why do we think they're on our side, the SEC? Well, Chairman Gensler or, CEO Gensler, president, whatever he is of the SEC, the new guy in town, it has a reputation for being on the retail side. And I think ultimately this is why. Because they don't want us making all this money and taking it out of the market. They know that our faith is waning. Usually the market changes, hands from one hand to the other, or it changes from one sector to the other, but most of the money stays in the market. They don't want people making this much money and having no faith and pulling out of the market. So that's why ultimately I think that all these rules are going to be put in place to help us out, to control a little bit more of a slow burn squeeze, where we have time to make our decisions and time to decide when we want to cash out. I really do. And maybe I'm being naive, but it's in their best interest too. See, that's why, they're looking out for us, but ultimately, they're looking out for themselves. But Adam Aron made a brilliant chess move here, guys. Increased the fundamentals of the stock by paying off debt, took the ability of these hedge funds to short through the bonds. And by the way, he wants receipts. In his filing, he said, can you guys go ahead and give me some receipts on those bonds? I want to know how you used them. I want to know where they were used, when they were cashed in. It's brilliant. So basically, this S3 filing is in effect, and it's good to go unless the SEC declines it. So they don't have to approve it. They have the ability to decline it. For my fantasy football peeps out there from my humble beginnings on social media and fantasy football, let me use an analogy. It's like, is a play going to get overturned when they're reviewing it? Did they call it a catch or did they not call it a catch? If you know what I mean, it's hard for them to overturn. They've got to have irrefutable proof. If it was called a catch and the flag is it was no catch, it's much different. Or if it was called a touchdown and they're trying to decline it, it's kind of the same thing. This filing is good unless they come out and say that it's not. So let's dig deeper into when they would refuse an S3 filing. This is some DD that I did today. They will and can refuse an S3 filing if it's bad for retail. That's their number one criteria. So is this S3 filing bad for retail? Number one, no, because we're in a short squeeze situation where the fundamentals have increased. And number two, no, because we're in a short squeeze situation where these shares have been used to short the stock. So this filing by Adam Aron is not bad for retail. It's not going to get rejected. So we have 12 days for that, or I'm sorry, maybe it's 15 days. So we have 15 days for that. And then we have 9 days left for the threshold list. And I'm not putting dates on anything. I think that's part of the problem sometimes is that people think that, this filing goes into effect tomorrow, so there's going to be a bunch of margin calls. or whatever. That's the problem. We've gotten hyped for big options contract expirations. We've gotten hyped for quadruple witching, which we've seen 2 of those come and go, and that was a big nothing burger. The reshuffling of the Russell indexes was supposed to be extremely volatile day and high volume day, and it was a nothing burger. It's going to happen just on some random day, and it's probably going to start in the pre-market, and we're not going to be expecting it. It's not going to be some big date that we're expecting. It's just going to happen, guys. It's going to happen. So do your own research. There's a guy on my timeline right now, and I'm going to shout him out because I'm not trying to be an asshole to this guy. And I noticed that he did retweet my big video the other day. Okay, AP Thomas, I hope you're watching. AP, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be an asshole today. I was just saying, you were asking for, a link, or source to this S3 filings, and I just said, yeah, go look for it, man. I mean, it was talked about all day yesterday on the AMC hashtag, and he wants to know where I got my information from, and says he can't find it. And like I said, I wasn't trying to be an ass. I said, hey, if you go out and look for this, you might find something that I don't know. You might uncover something new. So that's what I want you guys to all do. And my apologies to AP Thomas, if you took that the wrong way. Looks like you can't find it, so I'll find it for you. I'm also really busy, but I'll find it for you, and I'll link you to the S3 filing. It's it's real shit. It's on the government websites. So is this threshold information. If you want to Google NYSE threshold, it'll pop right up, and you can change the date. It's automatically going to default to the previous date. You could change the date and then see if AMC is still on the list. They've been on the list for 4 days. It really is fun to go out and try to uncover some shit. I've seen all kinds of stuff that kids don't smoke that I didn't know about by looking around. I think it's fun. I don't think anybody should just be getting spoon-fed information and trusting everything that they see. Don't trust everything that I say either. Go verify it. Trust and verify. I'm trying to get you the best information that I can. Over the last few months, I have misreported a few things, and I've retracted them on my timeline. And I never mean to do that, but there's so much information out there that every once in a while we do get led astray. But this is part of the reason why yesterday I just told everybody, hey, go to AMC Bigham's timeline, watch the Jackson Hunter video, look into this, and I'm going to report on it tomorrow because I wanted to give myself time to really absorb what was going on and not, shoot from the hip. So I appreciate you all. We went over a little over a half hour here today. I don't want to take any more of your time. The one thing I'll do is go ahead and check the stock price. We've been kind of flat or a little bit up this morning. Yeah, we're up 0.5%, 56.94. Now, I haven't looked this up because my Webull only shows Webull volume, but somebody posted that there's already 1 million transactions today. And that would be more than we've had recently. We've had very low volume in comparison to recently. So if today opens around 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 million in volume, then we're probably going to have another low volume day. But if it opens at 10, 12, 15, this could be the high volume day that we've been waiting for. And a high volume day is what we're going to need to push through that 63 level. The psychological level is 60, but guys, the real resistance is around 62 or $63. And we've been knocking at the door. Once we push that, then we might channel for a little while, or we might go ahead and hop up to the next channel of $72 being the intraday all-time high. And then $77 is the all-time high, which was achieved after or in pre-market a few weeks ago. So once we break past that, it should be a quick run up to 100, maybe channel around 85. I don't know. Maybe get up to 100 and then get knocked back down to 85. But well, I tell you what, there's nothing like watching your stock rip. And when it happens, get ready for the halts. When they do trading halts, it's when the stock goes up or down 10% in a 5-minute period, and they do that to protect you. It's exciting to see though, because when your stock gets halted, I think the last time it happened to AMC, it happened 3 or 4 times during the day. I mean, it's ripping. So it's kind of exciting. Be prepared for that. If you haven't seen it yet, if you're new enough that you didn't witness that, when the stock gets halted, they're supposed to be giving you a cooling off period so you don't sell out of your position from haste, and you don't buy into a stock that's been ripping and get caught holding the bag. That's why they do it. And usually, if it dips when the halt picks back up again, it just keeps ripping after that. So I'm excited talking about halts because it's been several weeks since we've seen them, and I think we are going to see some soon. So I'm going to be on vacation next week, and I wanted to throw it out there to everybody that I'm going to be in Tunica, Mississippi, doing some poker gambling at the Horseshoe Casino. So anybody that wants to, assassinate me, they can find me there. Just kidding. I'm strapped. So if you're in the area, DM me or tag me on Twitter. Let's get a group together and have a drink some night. I think it would be fun. No weirdos, please. Most of my followers are pretty damn cool, so I think it would be cool. So there's probably not many of you down there, but there may be a handful. So let's do it. I'm going to be down there July 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, playing in poker tournaments at noon and 7 o'clock on that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Probably have some time in the middle of the afternoon and later at night. So the first round's on me. If you guys want to coordinate amongst yourselves to get together one of those nights in that area, a handful of you or however many, I'll buy up to 20 people's first round of drinks. I got to put a lid on it in case, like 100 people show up. I doubt they will. They're probably going to be like 2 people, and one of them wants to murder me. I'm just kidding. Who would want to murder me? I've only given you the chances of getting easy fantasy football championships and making money on the stock market. Paulie. I don't know why I'm saying this shit. It's just too early. I guess I didn't get enough sleep. So I'm going to sign off here. Fuck the 1%. Hold to your convictions. Do your own research. This is going to happen. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not 2 weeks from now. Maybe not 2 months from now. But it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to spill into next year, by the way. If I had to put a time frame on it, I would say that this is going to happen late August, early September at the very latest, guys. So, we're closer to the end than we are at the beginning. At least those of us that have been in since February, March. All right. So have a good one. Hug your loved ones. Think about what you're going to do with your tendies. Get to know a good CPA. Try to avoid capital gains where you can. And these are the things that we should be thinking about: capital gains and reinvesting our money. This is great, guys. This is going to be life-changing money. I already have more money in my stock account than I've ever had in my whole life. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We're in the right play. So that's it. Appreciate it.